Well, old autumn is fast approaching around here. I like to come out in the yard once in a while, watch the leaves fall. They're really accumulating. They're just kind of drifting down. The other day we had kind of a brisk wind out here and it just looked like snow. For those of you who live in the northern states with all those leaves, you know what I'm talking about. Temperatures are down. It's just great. It's great. I love to walk around the yard in the morning. You know, take the old doggies for a walk. Even they seem more friskier. They just enjoy it. They just love this time of year.
Reporters naturally all around me says, "Wiener, you're a bum. I'd never vote for you in 100."
I was sitting here getting ready to work on my truck, and I'm listening to Anthony Weiner, ex-senator from New York, being interviewed by Geraldo Rivera. Well, I'll tell you what, some guys, it's just incredible what you hear comes out of our government nowadays. Anyway, by the way, there's people out there that want Anthony Weiner to run with Eric Holder for president, and the ticket would be Weiner Holder. Okay, here we go. I'm going to work on my pick-em-up truck, and the reason I'm going to work on it is because we're heading into the wintertime. And I like to do a few things before the weather gets cold. And I do one thing every year, twice a year. I remove the distributor cap and I clean up those pins in there. They get all kinds of crap on them. Let's see if I can zero in and give you a good close-up here. Let's see if the camera will. There it is. See all that crap down there on that pin? Well, that's residue buildup from the constant spinning and arcing. And each one of those has that buildup. If you get rid of it, see that buildup will absorb moisture. It absorbs moisture, and in the wintertime, of course, we have a lot of moisture, and it'll make your engine run rough. And also along the edge of the rotor here too, you have another crud buildup, and that'll need to be cleaned off too. So the way I do that, I've found the best way to do is just take the old moto tool or whatever you have, in this case the Black & Decker, and a wire brush. And just put it on low speed and get down there and just whack that stuff off. It just cleans it right off and makes them shiny. I need a little help with my computer, guys. I did something the other day. I don't know what I did. I have tried to reverse it. I've spent several hours trying to reverse it. But everything, the background and everything's turned black. I don't know. I was messing around trying to set, you know, a new background for my desktop, and I tried everything to get it back the other way, and I can't. Now this is an eBay background. It's all black. I thought it might have been eBay at first. And then I went somewhere else. Now here's something else that I was searching at Lowe's, and you'll see it's all black background again. How can I reverse that and make everything white the way it's supposed to be? This is Windows 7, by the way. And once again, you can see how the old tomatoes are beginning to ripen up again. Just like planting in the spring. Brand new ones. We got new ones popping up there everywhere. They are everywhere. We've got a nice little crop of, a second crop of tomatoes this year. Fertilize them. Fertilize them at the end of August, beginning of September. You'll have nice fresh ones again. You just take the old wire brush and get right down in there and just give it a good wire brushing. You can make these distributor caps last a long time by doing this. And they'll just clean right up real nice. I'm going to take this old handle and stick it down in this box right here, sort of like that, just enough to hold it. Then I'm going to spray it with some polyurethane satin. I don't usually use polyurethane, but I think for this it might be a better choice, and it needs to be fairly durable. You know, this handle is going to get a lot of use. I'll probably just put one coat on and then give it a light going over with some steel wool, and put a second coat on. Getting back to the Bloggy Touch for a minute, the Bloggy Touch camera. You know, I told you that the best way to film with that camera would be in a horizontal position. You get a full screen. Whereas if you film with it in vertical, it gets a squish screen, which I do not like at all. But I received a lot of comments that said, you know, being forced to film in the horizontal position makes it tough for tripod usage. And that kind of made me think, you know. I said, well, I'm not sure what they were meaning, you know. What do you mean? One guy said he had to rig up some kind of an affair on his tripod to where it would hold the camera horizontal. And you know, I've got a cheap tripod I bought many years ago for about 20 bucks. It is a it's a Velbon VideoMate 300. They're 20 bucks, and right now you can get them on eBay for $34, free shipping. So they're still cheap. And I kept thinking, you know, what is the problem with getting this thing in the horizontal position using a tripod like this? Now, let me show you. In the vertical position, no problem. You loosen up the handle, and it just rotates over to the horizontal position. If you don't want it on that side, you can unloosen the handle again and whip it on around to this side in the horizontal position. I don't know. I just can't see the problem unless the type of tripod you all are using. You know, the reason I bought this one was because it would go in both of those directions, you know, vertical or horizontal. Or maybe you're talking about the tiny little ones that sit on the desk, which I have one, but I just keep it in my drawer and never use it. If I needed a tripod, I'll do this one. So there you go. $34 on eBay. Free shipping if you wanted one. Well, there you go. Nice and shiny. All that old gooky crap off of there. You don't want that stuff on there. It will cause excessive arcing. For those of you who follow my videos, you know that I have purchased a new Bloggy Touch by Sony camera. And this is the old one here. This is the old Flip Ultra that finally crapped out on me. It won't transfer videos from the camera to the computer. Anyway, the Bloggy Touch, you know, my fingers kept getting over the microphone or would get in front of the lens like you're seeing right here, which is no good. So I came up with a prototype handle that, you know, if it would work, I could tilt the camera any direction I want, and it would keep my hands and fingers away from the microphone and the lens. And, you know, I could tilt the camera this way or this way while I'm holding it, whatever. And it did work. It seemed to do the job. And I said if it did work, or it seemed to work, then I would go ahead and make a better one. Well, here is the finished product. This is going to be the new handle that holds my Bloggy Touch. Now you know I was putting polyurethane on that thing. This is just pressure fitted down in there. I did not glue it, so if the handle were to break, I could just remove it, or if I wanted to make it smaller in size, I could remove the handle for packing. And it's just an aluminum, piece of aluminum, 3/4 inch wide, 1/8 inch thick. And I have a little, you know, a little knob I put on it here for screwing it to the camera. And I put a large flat washer with some felt on it. And then I took a half of rubber grommet. I split it down the center and ran it over the threaded area. So the, you know, the adjustment knob or the tightening knob won't come out. I imagine eventually that rubber piece will probably wear out, but you know, no big deal right now. And I decided to put felt on the flat washer in case that rubber thing decided to crap out on me and when I was out filming or something and I wanted to keep filming. I could at least continue. I could tighten it back up and not have to worry about the flat washer tearing up the camera. So let's hook it up and see what it looks like. Well, there it is, all hooked up. And you know, I like this in particular because I can switch it from hand to hand real quick. I don't have to worry about, well, did I get my finger in the way? Is my finger over the microphone or anything like that? Quick, and I can lay it down and pick it up real quick in a hurry, and it should do the job. And you know, it's one of these things that if it craps out or breaks, I can easily make another one. Now, maybe I could have moved the handle a little closer up to this part right here. But you know, and again, that's easily fixable because this aluminum is only pressure fitted into this handle. I could easily slip it off, cut it back out, cut it down, you know, a little bit more, and then pressure fit it in. But right now, it feels pretty good. Seems to be balanced okay. We'll see what happens. Another thing I like to do, in addition to cleaning up the distributor contacts, I like in the fall and in the spring, I like to give the engine a good spray down with some of this either gunk or some other brand, you know, and just kind of spray down the whole engine compartment, everything. Kind of stay away from the distributor if you can. You're going to get some of it on there, but you know, just give your engine, especially the battery, give the old battery a good spray down. And then when you're all done, just let it set for, you know, You know, you can warm the engine up. You're supposed to warm the engine up for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then that helps. You know, it helps it dissolve the grease. But I don't have a whole lot of grease in my engine, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, that's about it, I think. I'm aware that some people say, "Oh, I would never wash my engine. You know, it's terrible." Well, I'll tell you what. I've been washing engines for 40 years, and I have never had a problem. Never once. You know, I'm really happy we have 4 ever alert dogs around here.
Yeah.
No one would ever break into this place without them knowing it. Can you believe this? It's siesta time. It's been setting for about an hour, and I'm ready to give it a good spray down here. It needs it. Get all that gunk off there, wash it all off, and all that nasty old oil, dirt, and grime that's accumulated. That's all it takes. You know, you don't want to hit it real hard with a hard, forceful spray. Just kind of keep your spray spread out like I have right here. Then once I get that all done, I'll just let it dry until tomorrow morning. All right, one more thing I wanted to show you. It's raining out. You can probably hear the rain hitting the umbrella over my head. Anyway, about 3 weeks ago, our second oldest grandson, Joseph, decided he and his fiancée, Samantha, they both wanted to get married. And they didn't want to spend a lot of money on a big wedding and all that stuff, you know, and they didn't have a whole lot to spend anyway. And what they did have, they just didn't want to blow it. They figured they could be just as easily married another way. And that way was in our living room. They came and asked us, would we mind if they got married in our living room? Well, of course I don't mind. That was pretty cool. We've had, my daughter got married out in back in the grass under the trees. That was a neat deal. And so we said, sure, go ahead. So she invited her family, and you know, we were there, and Joseph had some other friends of his there. It worked out great. It was a great wedding, and it didn't cost them a whole lot. Everybody was happy. And they're doing okay, you know. They've still got the money in their pockets, which is, I think it's a wise thing, especially in today's economy. So, I thought I'd let you folks see what went down. They used a local justice of the peace. He came over and, you know, performed the ceremonies. He was a heck of a nice guy. You are Ansel Lee?
Ansel Lee.
Ansel Lee, and you are the justice of the peace that just performed the wedding ceremony. We appreciate you coming down and doing it. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
All right, we appreciate that. We're probably going to put some of this on YouTube. I may have you up there as, like, you know, the primo JP around here.
What a deal. Sounds good.
Yeah, what a deal.
Joseph, do you take these Samantha to your lawful wedded wife?
I do.
You promise to love and to cherish her.
I do.
In sickness and in health, in poverty as in wealth, from this day forth until death do you part.
I do.
Samantha. Do you, Samantha, take me, Joseph, to be your lawful wedded husband?
I do.
You promise to love and to cherish him.
I do.
In sickness and in health, in poverty as in wealth, from this day forth until death do you part. All right. Joseph, do you have a ring for your bride? You would slip the ring on her finger. Repeat after me. With this ring,
With this ring,
I be wed.
I do wed.
With all my worldly goods,
All my worldly goods,
I give to thee.
I give to thee.
Samantha, do you have a ring for Joseph? If you would slip that on his finger. Yeah, that's it. Slip it on there and repeat after me. With this ring, I be wed. With all my worldly goods, I give to thee. Guys, join both hands. I will tell you that your worldly goods is just a start. Basically, you actually give yourselves to each other. All right, guys, it's my honor to tell you that, my privilege to tell you that, by the power vested in me by the state of Arkansas, in accordance with the laws of these lands, to announce you the husband and wife. Joseph, you may kiss your bride.
All right.
I don't want nobody if I can't have you.